So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the current booming sports card market and how to absolutely capitalize off of the hot market and make the most amount of money. Because I'll be honest, these past couple months have been my best few months since 2021 during the peak when everything was going crazy in the peak of the pandemic. And I just think right now is an incredible opportunity, especially if you're kind of new to this or you haven't been increasing your portfolio in a while. This is really a time to invest heavy, get in heavy, and flip a lot. So before we get into that, I did want to say real quick, on our Instagram, we are hosting our monthly giveaway. It is a Michael Jordan 1987 Fleer PSA 6 worth around $180. If you want to enter, head to my Instagram at sportscardinvest. You have to follow all the 3 steps, so just like the post, follow my personal Instagram and the company Instagram, and comment the word done, and you will be entered in to win. So it's a free chance to win a card to get you kickstarted on your sports card investing journey or increase your portfolio. So definitely go ahead and do that if you haven't already. But without further ado, we're going to hop right into the video. So as you guys can see right here, all sports in the last 30 days besides soccer are currently up. There's a lot of excitement right now around the football card market for the offseason, and there is a really strong increase in price happening right now in the basketball card market due to the NBA playoffs. So as you guys can see right here, we're seeing a lot of the top seeds. Of course, the Thunder have one of the top seeds in the West. We're seeing Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous, even Chet's market's doing really well. We're seeing a couple new guys kind of pop out, such as Jalen Brunson, and his market's really been on fire since the Knicks have had a great year. So there's a lot of excitement right now around the basketball card market. And there are a lot of opportunities for the playoffs. I mean, there's a lot of players who I feel have a good chance this year to really elevate, in the playoffs. A couple that come to mind, of course, you've got the Shays, you've got the Jalen Williams, you've got these guys who are kind of making their first real playoff appearance, I like to call it. Guys like Anthony Edwards who have a chance to win, a couple playoff series. They're the first seed right now. Hopefully, it's going to be really interesting in the West this year because obviously you've got teams like the Warriors and the Lakers who could potentially be in that 8th seed. But if you can see a guy like Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves take down a big team like, a team with LeBron and Steph Curry, you can see prices really rise because this is really his first, I would say, playoffs where he actually has expectations on him. The last few years, even though the Timberwolves have made the playoffs, there's been kind of no expectations there for them to perform, but there are some this year, so it does raise a little bit more risk, but there's a lot of upside if you have guys like Anthony Edwards, young players winning playoff series. Of course, you got guys who could potentially make deeper runs. One guy who I'm really looking at is Nikola Jokic. I think if Jokic, obviously he's a center, so his card market has been really soft because he's not a flashy player. But if he wins a back-to-back championship, he's already got multiple MVPs. If he can win another championship, I think he really elevates himself into all-time big man. That list is quite small of all-time big men who have won multiple championships, won multiple MVPs, and if he can get there, I think a lot of his cards are due for a massive bump, even if he's a center and people don't pay as much attention to him. He's currently, in my personal opinion, the best player in the NBA right now. And if you have him winning multiple championships, and the Nuggets are still so young, you have guys like Jamal Murray, who I see opportunity with in the postseason because his regular season market is super, super shallow. People don't really invest in his cards in the regular season, but every postseason, when the Nuggets do something, you see his cards go up in price. You can see over the last 90 days, his cards are really going down. They're down nearly 10% over the last 90 days. And I just see that as a great buying opportunity for the playoffs. If Jamal Murray is the number 2 on a team that wins potentially 2 championships in a row, I definitely expect his cards to go up. You saw last postseason, his cards, his PSA 10 Prism Silver went up to over $600, with sales as much as $640. And then, of course, when they were in the finals, you saw sales as much as $660. And these are currently back down to around $250. So I personally could see if the Nuggets do make another run, which I think they have a good chance at doing, you could see his prices go, as high as $600 to $700 for a PSA 10 when you can currently buy in for around $250. So there's a lot of opportunities right now that I'm seeing. I'm trying to stay away from guys who have so high expectations, but trying to look for guys who are more so playoff players. There are a couple more risks that you guys could take, like guys like Jimmy Butler, who, has been known to elevate his game in the playoffs. His regular season market is almost, non-existent. People don't really invest in Jimmy Butler in the regular season, but some postseasons he's been known to turn it up. Every few years he just has a random finals run, and the East is pretty wide open. So it's kind of like a low-risk, high-reward investment. I don't see a Pop 36 BGS 9.5 Prism Silver from first-year Prism of Jimmy Butler being under a $500 card, but this is a card that's so low pop that if they make a playoff run, you could see his cards really go up in price. I mean, his Prism Silver PSA 10s at their peak were doing around $3,000, in 2021. And of course, even later in 2022, when they had another run, it was around $3,200. And these are currently down to, if the 9.5's doing $550, a 10, if it were to sell today, in my opinion, is probably an $800 to $900 card. So you see a lot of cards you can really buy at a discount that have high upside if a player does potentially make a run. Of course, you look at guys like Giannis and Tatum. I mean, in my personal opinion, the East is a lot more wide open. I think the West has a few strong contenders like the Nuggets and Clippers, but the East is pretty wide open this year. Of course, you have, the Celtics, who look like the strongest team, at least in the regular season, and you can potentially buy into guys like Tatum. If he were to win his first championship, you could see his cards, totally take off, because if you look at where they were, when he was making his run in 2022, his orange Prism sold for as much as $25,000 during their finals run in 2022. And that card that was $25,000 is currently down to probably under $5,000 if it were to sell today. And so you see a lot of opportunities right now in guys who could potentially make a big playoff run and, potentially see 4 or 5 X's if you're able to pick the right guys. So that is definitely one opportunity that I see in the market right now. If you want to take the total safe route, I would just go the football route and just buy up players that are currently sitting low, maybe players that were injured last year like Aaron Rodgers. If you look at his card market, it's really suffering, and he'll be back this coming season, this next season. And of course, the Jets are, a team that I think a lot of people are excited about when they're healthy. Aaron Rodgers, he's a guy who has not much risk because he's already done so much in the league that, there's not much downside, but a lot of upside. So there's just a lot of investments that I'm looking at that I think have low risk and high reward if you can cover your downside, you have a lot of opportunities because you can have a lot of upside to deal with. So there's a lot of football guys that I'm investing in for the offseason. Just guys who I think, there's going to be a lot of hype leading into next season. Guys like Jordan Love, of course, Mahomes, Herbert with the new coach, McCaffrey coming off of a Super Bowl. There's a lot of opportunities in the market. And I just think overall, if you're invested in the offseason, it's very hard to lose, but there's a lot of upside. If you guys look at past trends, March to April is usually when prices bottom out for football, and then prices go up throughout the rest of the offseason leading into the season. So there's a lot of opportunities, but I don't want to make this video too long. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like. We are on our way to 50,000 subscribers. Once again, if you would like to enter into the giveaway, like this video, subscribe, and head to our Instagram to go ahead and enter through there, because we will be picking the winners on my personal Instagram at itskanalahuja. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.